Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in your business. You're listening to the Business Behind the Scene podcast, episode number 1. Hi, I'm Francesca Moi, and I am so excited to start running podcasts this year. It's 2020, and I thought, you know what, I've been in business now for 6 years, and it's time for me to come up with a podcast because I've got so much content, so much to give, so much to share, and I just wanted to make sure that people that are starting business, people that are in business, people that want to turn the business from a 6-figure business to $1 million business, they get to know the real behind the scene about business. I was looking for that. I was looking for people to tell me what's really going on behind the scene, what they're really doing, how they get the systems in place, how they train the team, how they grow the business, how they maintain themselves insane because it feels quite insane at times. And so because I didn't have that as a support system while I was turning my business from a 6-figure to $1 million business, I thought, you know what? Here we go. I'm going to do a podcast. And then on top of this behind the scene is literally going to be showing you the real deal. Everything that goes behind the scene in a business, everything that I should have done that I didn't do, that I now, in hindsight, think, oh, damn it, someone told me that, right? So everything that I'm going to share in this podcast is going to be to your beneficial, to your business. So if you are already in a 6-figure business to going towards $1 million business, this is going to be an amazing place to be. If you're not in a six-figure business yet, then don't worry. You can still learn these things. They're going to really bring that foundation for you to actually turn your business into a really successful one and be able to scale it. Now, I have been in business now for 6 years, and I've really wanted to always leverage my time, because there's one thing that we can't buy, which is time. We all have the same amount of time, so I think, how can I leverage my time? My team was asking me for more content, for more things that they can use in social media. So I thought, you know what, if I start a podcast every week, half an hour, that is something that the virtual assistants can transcribe, and then we can turn this into a blog or into Facebook posts or Instagram posts. And so I'm like, yeah, winning. So not only I'm gonna add more value and gain more followers, but I'll also be able to make a difference in people's businesses, and at the same time creating more content for my team. So everybody's winning. So I said, let's do it. Half an hour a week is more than worth it. So here it is. So what I wanted to start this first podcast with was really what's been going on the 2019, how a wrap up of the year, and to let you know a bit of the good, the bad, and the ugly of 2019. So, and I would really strongly recommend that if you are in business, even if you're new in business or you've been in business for years, I would strongly recommend to do that, to do a bit of a recap of the year, what worked, what didn't work, what did you learn, what can you take in 2020, what lessons can you take with you, what mistakes you're not going to do again in 2020. And so this is me opening up and share with you my 2019. So here we go, sit tight, get some popcorns, because I've got some really good stories here to share. Now, if you haven't heard my voice before, I have an accent, I know. I live in Australia right now, but I grew up in Italy, and I've been in Australia only for 12 years. So yes, I do have a strong accent, and that's one of the things that hold me back from starting a podcast. I thought people can't see me. And I know that in a lot of videos, people sometimes read my lips because they can't understand my accent. And because of my hand gestures, I'm Italian, people can understand me better. So I'm like, how are people going to understand a podcast? I don't know. So good luck to you. And if you can't understand it, we are going to upload in our website the transcription of this podcast. So hopefully you can use that if you can't understand something. So sorry about my accent, but this is me with the good and the bad and the ugly, right? So First thing I wanted to let you know is that December is my favorite month of the year because I get to spend time planning. I get to spend time scheduling the next year. I get spending time into looking into numbers and making goals, and I just love it because that gets me excited for the next year. Get me a bit of a reset, restart. Whatever was gone wrong, it's not going to happen again. Whatever gone right, let's double it. Whatever we need to let go, let's let it go. So I really love this part of the year because it's a bit of a clean up and a little bit of, okay, let's move forward with it. So we literally spend the month doing, today is the 31st of December. I'm recording this first podcast for the first week of January, and I feel good. I feel amazing. I've got everything scheduled, and I've got everything, all the content is planned for 2020. So every time I jump on a webinar, on a podcast, on a call with clients, everything is scheduled, everything is set up. I just don't have to think anymore. Isn't that amazing? So if you love this and you want to start to get organized in your business, don't miss out next week's podcast because I'm going to talk about everything about planning. So I love that. Now, a bit of a summary for 2019. Here we go. So after 35 half-day workshops around the globe with over 1,081 people attending those workshops, from there we had eight workshops for clients, and they're all 2 or 3 day workshops that we ran in 2019, and our first business retreat in Italy. It was amazing, just mind-blowing what happened in that retreat. It was the first one. It was a bit of a beta, and we only had 7 people there, but let me tell you, it was mind-blowing. I had the biggest aha moments. I had the biggest it was just so amazing. So we're doing 2 this year in 2020, one in Bali, one in Italy, and they're already half full, which is amazing. We didn't even promote them yet, right? We only promote them to our clients, which is obviously the people that work with us for the whole 12 months, and it's just incredible. So we had 145 new clients. We called our clients the Mafians because our 12 months program is the Mafia Academy, and the Mafia Academy, it's all about marketing and Facebook, Instagram Academy. So we teach Facebook, we teach Instagram, and it's all organic strategies. So how I have grown the business from 0 to a 6-figure business without investing in any advertising, just all organic following, organic strategies on social media. That it's the best way to get started, because I don't know you, but I didn't have $10,000 a month to put in Facebook advertising. I do now, and that's our budget at the moment, and we're going to increase it in 2020, but we didn't have that in 2019. We didn't have that in 2014 and 15 and 16 and so on. So I had to find a way to promote myself without having to pay for advertising, and so that's what I now teach all our clients, the Mafians. The reason why we call it the Mafias, bit of a laugh. I'm Italian. It sounds great, and people love it. People have a laugh with it, and a lot of the time in business we forget to have fun. We make things way too serious, right? And so having a bit of a laugh about the Mafia, 145 new Mafians, they're all very proud to be in the community, and it's amazing the value that we give. So the program started in 2015, and it used to be about $900 to become part of the Mafia. Now the minimum that you can enter level is $5,000, and it goes all the way up to $30,000. So there's different levels of people that can work with us, and obviously the more value we share, the more time we spend with them, the more money it costs. And so this year has been incredible because we have also hired 3 new team members in our team. So now we are up to 7 people in Australia, and we had 2 new virtual assistants in the Philippines. We now have 6 virtual assistants in the Philippines. We've got flights for 3 of them to come over in 2019 to Australia for the first time in their lives, to meet us face to face, to get to know us. Some of those girls have been with us for over 2 or 3 years now. So it's been an amazing journey. One of them has been with me since the beginning, and Tina is like part of the family. She's now in maternity leave, and we love it to bits, and it's just amazing to have in your team people that are now part of the growth, part of the vision, part of, where we're going with this business. So it's just amazing, the transition from being a solopreneur to being an entrepreneur, and it's just mind-blowing. What also happened in 2019 is that I have met the love of my life. I finally met love after being single for over 6 years, because I thought that all I could do and all I had resources for was business. I didn't have time for anything else. I finally made time for love. And I have to say, I am the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And now we also, what happened is that Eric and I are really having similar businesses. He was doing everything online, I was doing everything mostly offline. And so now we joined forces, as all of my clients wanted to learn the online stuff and all his clients wanted to learn the offline stuff. So why not merging all the things together? So powerful what we have been able to do together, which is just mind-blowing. And we're just so excited to be able to continue this journey together. One of my dreams was to find love and be able to spend time together. Now the fears were there, the so much stuff I had to let go, so many limiting beliefs to be able to allow love in my life. But now that happens, magic is happening. So together with that, in 2019 we launched our first international tour. We did workshops in Canada and in Singapore and in Amsterdam. So things are taking off, and 2019 has been a really big year, reaching over $1.7 million in revenue, which is amazing, and ready for doubling it in 2020. So we've got a plan ready and we've got everything sorted to get this started. Now, what are the learnings from this year? Oh my goodness. One of the biggest learning was opening my heart. I've been single for 6 years, and I didn't think that a woman could be powerful and strong and independent and have a successful business and earn a lot of money and be known and being recognized everywhere I go in Australia. If it's business related, obviously people recognize me. And they say, oh my God, Francesca, you, the Francesca Moi, the meetup queen. I said, yeah, that's me. And so I didn't think that any man would allow that, would enjoy that, because I come from an Italian family where the women are lower than the men. The woman cannot be more successful than the man. And so for me, my limiting belief was I would not ever be able to find someone that's going to accept me and my success. So I thought I had to choose either man, love, companionship, marriage, kids, family, or business, success, independence, make a difference, follow my passion. I didn't think those two could go together. And I think that a lot of women out there feel the same. And a lot of my clients, what's interesting about this is that they were supporting me. A lot of my clients were in either single, divorced, or had bad relationships in the past. And so they were looking up to me thinking, I want to be like Francesca, I want to be strong, I want to be independent, I want to be happy even if I'm single. So I was leading a lot of women into becoming very strong-minded and very independent, but very lonely. Because the truth was, yes, I was happy, yes, I was fulfilled, yes, the business side was amazing, but at the end of the day, I was going home to an empty house. I was going home to nobody. I was going home to a plate of pasta, and every year, every month, every day, I was putting on weight because I just couldn't handle that loneliness. And this is very raw and real for me. I'm actually enjoying this podcast right now because I am talking from the heart, and I'm not seeing a camera, I'm not seeing myself, so I'm literally talking as if I had my best friend in front of me. So I really hope you guys are enjoying this podcast and you support me and follow me in this podcast, because I think that a lot of real truths are going to come out from this podcast. And I did call it the business behind the scene, and so this is part of the behind the scene, because people don't see that. People see this strong woman on social media, happy and strong, and doing all these Facebook lives, and not seeing that when she went home, she felt alone and she felt sad, and she was eating her sadness away, until in April I realized that, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with my life? How much more weight am I going to put on? How much more ugly do I want to become? And I'm not saying that, if you put on weight, you're ugly, but that's how I was feeling. I was feeling that I was putting on weight so that my man would not see me. I wanted to be invisible. And it's funny enough because I teach how to get invisible to invincible, from invisible to invincible on social media. And yet I want to stay invisible in my personal life. Isn't that interesting? This is actually what my third book is about. I've written the third book. It's now in editing, and it's called From Invisible to Invincible in My Personal Life. And this is the truth. All my life I wanted to be invisible. I wanted to not be seen, because I was afraid that if I met someone, that would mean stop everything, stop the business, stop the success, stop everything I did. And so in April, I realized that that's what I had to do. So I started to, I went to this amazing woman that helped me with understanding that I can be fit and I can be successful, and I can be fit and find love and be successful. All the three things can happen. And so I started this different lifestyle. I don't want to call it a diet, because it wasn't a diet. It was a different lifestyle. And I started to go eating gluten-free and lactose-free, and oh boy, in literally not even 3 months, I lost 19 kilos. Now guys, we're talking about 2019 and I lost 19 kilos. That wasn't done on purpose, but it just happened, right? And it was mind-blowing, because 2019, I finally was able to let go of this weight that I was carrying that wasn't serving me. And it wasn't serving my business, because let's be honest, if you go into a workshop and you hear someone say, hey, come and join my Mafia Academy where you get really successful and really lonely and really overweight. It's amazing. You're gonna overwork, work hard, do everything organic, and you're gonna eat your life away because you're gonna feel sad and lonely and you have no time for anything else. Right, join this program. And so the truth was that I was being a really bad reflection of my business. I say to people, your business is a 3D printout of your thoughts. So if people were looking at my body, then would say this is a 3D printout of a business, means the business is a bit messy and a bit overweight and a bit heavy, and I don't want to be part of it. So sometimes as leaders, we don't realize how important is our appearance, how important is our happiness, how important it is walking our talk, because all of a sudden I realized that I wasn't being genuine and I wasn't being following my own advice in a different area of my life. Yes, in business I was successful, but the truth was I wasn't being successful in my personal life. And so to be a greater leader, to be a better person, I always wanted to grow and I always wanted to become a better version of myself. However, I wasn't being honest. I wasn't being playing full out in every area of my life. So here we go. So I first lost about 8 kilos, and then I went to Day with Destiny in Cairns, where I met my love, when I met Eric. And Eric was also in a very interesting part of his life where he was single, was divorced, and he was not looking definitely for love, and he was just looking to become more successful in his business. And we fell in love. As simple as that. We just fell in love, and we were friends at first for the first months, and then we realized that he was everything I always looked for in a man, and I was everything I was always looking for in a woman. And with the good and the bad, because at the end of the day I chose a very strong man and he chose a really strong woman, and so at times there is a lot of strong, passionate fights. But those fights, every time we have a discussion, it turns into getting closer and getting better understanding of who we are, and every step of the way we get closer, and it's just magical what's been happening. And finally I don't feel lonely anymore. Finally I got way more to give now to my clients as well, because I feel fulfilled and I feel filled with love as well. When before I felt like I was giving so much and I wasn't getting much in return in sense of love. And so fascinating how now that that piece of the puzzle was also completed. So magic happened in 2019. So one of the lessons for me was open my heart. I'm able to be feminine and powerful and successful in the same time. One of the podcasts that I already decided I'm going to talk about will be being feminine in business and be able to also be successful, because I used to think and believe that to be a successful woman you had to be masculine. You couldn't have a feminine energy and be successful in business because everybody will walk all over you, and that is absolutely not true. And I've learned it because actually as women we've got a lot of power in our femininity. There's a lot of power in being feminine. We can really have whatever we want by using our gentle ways, and we don't always have to be strong, and we don't always have to be masculine to achieve what we want to achieve. So it's important to play with masculine and feminine energy and use both sides. However, we cannot just be one, because then means that we're not going to be balanced. So one more thing that I've learned in 2019 was not to be afraid to speak up and not to be afraid to have confrontations. This has been one of the biggest things for me with my team, with my loved ones, with my friends, with my family. I've always not pretended, but I always just put things under the rug and just move on and pretend that we're not there. Actually, it was pretending. Okay, who am I lying to? So I grew up like that, and I just didn't know there was a different way to do it. And I did a lot of courses and I did a lot of learning, and I always listen to people that are more successful than me in different areas of my life. And for me, success doesn't necessarily mean making more money or being in a different place in business. For me, success means having success in an area, right? So I learned from anybody and everybody that's got proof for their success in whatever area I want to improve. So I always have different coaches and different people that support me in my business. So that was huge for me to learn how to have confrontations and healthily put myself out there and speak my truth. And also that has given me greater strength and greater understanding of the people around me and the people that are willing to grow with me and the people that are not willing to grow with me. That means that I'm not going to be in my life for long enough, because I want to surround myself with people that help me become a better version of myself. And so I hope that from this podcast, you are also taking away the fact that business and personal life go together. When we're in business, we need to also work on our mindset. We need to work on our personal limiting beliefs that are stopping us from being the best version of ourselves. In business, especially the people that are beautiful clients that I have, that I work with, they're coaches and experts and people that are teaching stuff. As teachers, we are leaders, and people are going to look up to us and they're going to want to learn. And if we don't have congruency in different areas of our lives, people are going to feel that. And if they feel that, the trust is going to be broken, or there's going to be something that they're not going to be able to put the finger on it, but they're going to go, I'm not sure about this person. And you don't want that. You want to really work on yourself to be able to grow and become the better version of yourself every single year, every single month, every single day. So my question to you is, what are you committed to do? What are you committed to? In what area of your life are you willing to commit to in 2020? Make a list. Make a list of things that you want to improve. Make a list of who you want to become in 2020. And for me, that has been so powerful to understand that, yes, Francesca Moi is a strong, independent, successful businesswoman that's got a big heart, and also is very feminine and very loving and can have that masculine side of her. When she needs to tell you stuff, she will tell you straight, but she also have the love. And I never allow that part. And now that I allow it, I feel so much more love for myself too. I've got so much compassion for me, for the time that I want to have time off. I used to work 7 days a week, and now I go, no, I need my time off. I need my new beauty sleep. I need to go to the hairdresser. I need to look after myself, not just for the business image, but for the self-love side of it. I used to always be impeccable on stage, always well-dressed, and always make sure that I would, look my part. But I never took time out for me, for self-love, for feeling those feelings. So make sure that you write it down. Who are you going to be? Who are you going to become? What person are you going to become in 2020? What type of leader you want? What do you want people to say about you in 2020? So I would love to people, that have been following me and look back and say, hey, this year was an amazing year. I've learned so much from Francesca Moi. I've got this inspiration from her. I've learned this. I've got clarity around what I want people to remember me for. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed this first podcast for 2020, and stay tuned. Lots of more podcasts are coming out, and I really look forward to see you guys in any of the programs that we have launching this year. 2020 is an amazing year, full of surprises and full of new things that are coming out for you. See you next week. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, then you have to come check out the Entrepreneur's Abundance Mindset Mastermind. It's my monthly mastermind where you get to spend time with me, where we take all this material, we apply it, we study it, and so we can take your business to a whole new level. So just go to the Francesca Moi, the Meetup Queen Facebook business page, and then just send me a message and you'll be able to choose the option EAM Mastermind. I would love to have you join me there, and I'll see you next week.